and welcome to Three Sisters, One Heart podcast, and welcome to our 50th episode. Woo!
So exciting.
So today we're going to talk a little bit about what we've learned over the past almost year and a half. With our 50th episode, what we learned about podcasting, what we've learned about each other, the positive and negative aspects. And before we get into that, though, we're going to go over our trials. So, Shannon, would you like to start with your trial?
I don't really have any big thing this week. Schoolwork.
Yeah.
I'm dying. I'm drowning. I'm over it. I mean,
You're so close.
I'm not
though.
really, but I'm over it.
Right.
So I'm close, but it's a lot. It's a lot of work on top of working a lot as is. And I'm kind of feeling that emotional health roller coaster again. I'm getting overwhelmed. I'm feeling a little bit crazy. I hate whenever I'm talking about myself, calling myself crazy. But I really shouldn't say that. But I am only talking to myself.
If that's the word, though, that you feel comfortable using, then I think why not?
I just don't want to be offensive to anybody else.
You're your own crazy.
That's for sure. What about you, Heather?
This past week or so, my mental health has seriously went down, and I've been really struggling. So that's my big thing right now.
Yeah, the
it.
struggle is hard, you guys, and it's not something that is just passing quickly. Like, I feel like we're all feeling like this. Here we are week to week, and honestly, most of my trial is an accumulation of feelings, just feeling out of sorts, right? But actually, I have a more interesting, sort of more interesting trial this week. My eldest daughter, Nova, she sprained her ankle this past week, and it has been a challenge because she is she's not a super active person. She's a clumsy person, but she just hasn't had any injuries, and this is the first kind of more serious injury that she's had that I can even really remember for the longest time. So it's been really tricky because first off, she's 15, so there's no, she only listens to half of what I say, or thinks half of what I say is even right or
Right, like, what do you know?
the best course of action. So it's been really tricky trying to navigate, how's the best way to take care of it, what she should and shouldn't be doing. Like, on one hand, she comes to me and she wants the help, but on the other hand, she doesn't
want to actually take the advice of the help.
Doesn't want to really take the advice. So that's been interesting.
She wants the sympathy, not the help.
Yes.
Yep.
She's not been working. I don't think she's going to work this week. And then next week we're supposed to go to the Keys, and I am a little nervous because Shannon had lent her some crutches, and I tried to get her to let me adjust them for her and see how much pressure, and she just kind of just it's fine, I don't need them. But literally she is crawling on her knees around the house.
She has to practice because
I know.
Yeah, especially if you're going on vacation next week, she's going to be all over the place, and if she's trying to use those brand new.
I know it. It's crazy. It's hard. I don't know what to do. I don't want to argue with her about it.
it's not worth it.
It's
She'll
not
figure
worth
it out.
So I'm whatever, crawl around the house. I came home this afternoon, look like a crazy person. There, that's the inappropriate way to use it. You look like an invalid because I came home this afternoon, and Nova had gotten some stuff in the mail, and I was like, oh, these are for Nova, and Chris was like, I just saw her slither through here a few minutes ago. It's funny because we keep making fun of her because she keeps slithering in. The other day, we were coming inside, we were visiting my aunt, and we came home later in the evening, and when we were coming inside, I came in ahead of everyone and put bags and groceries and stuff down, and the door was closed a little bit. My husband is an AC girl, close the door, the AC's on. You can't even, there's 4 of us coming in the house, and I still feel the pressure to close the door in between because I'm faster than everyone else. I'm always faster than everyone else when it comes to these things. I got things
Ben
to
tries
do.
to yell at me whenever I leave the garage door open to do laundry or whatever.
Yeah.
Excuse me, no sir, I'm not the child.
Yeah.
I pay this electric bill. I'm good. Thank you.
So I kind of close the door behind me, and I'm putting groceries down, and next thing you know, I see the door pop open, and I look, but she's down here, and she's
oh my gosh.
a monster. I was like, you look like something from like The Ring or The Grudge or something
gosh.
crawling into the house. But
She
whatever.
almost
What
broke
can
her
you do?
nose on my front door the other day because she refuses.
Crawling? I know. She doesn't want help either. That's the
No.
thing. It's tricky. How do you guys, any suggestions? 15.
I'm
How
telling
do I
you, the
navigate
broken
this?
nose is gonna get her worse.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's
And
already looking
it's gonna
better.
show more.
Yeah. It is already looking better. The swelling has gone down. She looks more bruised now. It didn't have bruising before.
That's how sprains work.
But yeah, I think a couple more weeks and she'll be mostly good. But it's hard. It's hard.
Teenagers.
I know. I'm glad she didn't break it.
Yeah. Oh gosh. It would be weeks.
Way more miserable.
You know, I just noticed what keeps catching my eye. We have matching hair today. We both got the crazy hair going on.
That was my lack
The
of.
top bun. It's like a bow. It's like a.
It's almost, I don't know what you
crown.
would call this. It's flip it up and throw it on top of my head is what it is.
It's too hot to be on the back of my neck, and it hurt too much to be down here, so I was just like, all right.
That's funny. So,
We all got through trials?
yeah,
Heather, did you do your trial? Mm-hmm. Oh gosh, you guys, it's been a long day.
it has been.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot. That was what I was going to complain about. Is
It's been a long day.
It's been a long week.
I've been having insomnia.
It's only Tuesday.
Oh, yeah, that's
I have
awful.
that a lot.
It's like I wake up at like 3 a.m. and I feel great at 3 a.m. and I'm like,
Oh,
let's
no.
go, let's do all the things. And then I haven't even been napping because I thought like maybe that would hurt, you know,
Your sleep.
my sleep. And no, not even napping, and I still can't sleep at night.
Have you had anything recent, like a meds adjustment or anything that
No.
could be associated with it?
No, I didn't even
That's
think
hard.
about that, but no, I haven't.
Insomnia could be.
And I do drink a lot of caffeine, but it's
Right.
a vicious cycle. I need it because then I'm
Yeah.
dead tired and I can't make it.
That's tricky.
Stop caffeine at like 3.
Yeah.
Oh, I read
About that.
a statistic the other day, and this is terrible. This is terrible because I don't know 100% the statistic, but it was like saying that scientists have found out that people need exactly 7 hours of sleep a night. Exactly. And I thought, interesting, because some people are more sleepy than other people. So I thought that
Yeah.
was interesting. I like a good 8 hours of sleep a night, but
Agreed.
usually I average about 6.5, if I'm lucky, maybe 7.
Oh gosh.
And it said that even 1 less hour of sleep brings your life expectancy down, like it was like 17%.
Wow.
And sleeping more brought it down, but it wasn't as bad. It was like 13 or something. Of course, don't hold me to those numbers. Google it for yourself, because it was just surprising to me, like a difference of an hour, how it can.
What's the most alarming to me is that it's the same for every single
Well, 'cause
body.
some people take longer to fall asleep.
Yeah.
Like my husband can lay down and he's asleep in 5 minutes. It takes me like 20-30 minutes
Yeah,
just
same.
to settle in and fall asleep.
Yeah.
So like, when does that timer like start ticking, you know?
I think it's when you're actually asleep. I don't think it
Yeah.
counts.
Yeah.
I just thought it was very interesting and thought, oh,
I don't
also a
think
little
there's
bit
any way that two
scary.
people
A little
can-
bit scary, because then I was
Yeah.
like, oh God, I better make sure I'm getting proper sleep. I know proper sleep does affect a lot of facets of one's life, but like that's not much like wiggle room,
Yeah.
you know. Anyhow, interesting.
Interesting.
I hope your sleep
Well,
gets
fun
better.
fact.
We'll see.
Yeah.
It'll get there. So, podcast 50th anniversary or 50th
Wow.
episode, not anniversary.
Yeah.
It's not been that
Dang.
long.
We age gracefully.
So a lot of things have changed for us in the podcast over the course of the past year and a half, and our 50th episode. Maybe we should start with like, what did we think when we were like getting into this whole podcast idea? Like, what our expectations were, or you know, what we maybe daydreamed that they could be.
Well, it's like you always wanted to like take off and be something. Actually, that was probably my biggest fear
That it would get
to
too
begin
big.
with, because to be completely blunt, I was doing it because you guys wanted to, and it was like I can't be the only one that doesn't do it.
It was me.
And then I think Heather felt a little bit similar too.
Yeah.
It was me. It was me.
But I'm grateful for it
Right,
now. I'm
right,
super
right.
grateful for it.
Right.
But like in the beginning, just because I've always been a very reserved person,
Yes.
I guess you could say,
I think that's a good word. Yeah.
it was intimidating. And it's not really anymore.
No,
Even
not to
when-
me either.
Randos comment on our YouTube. It doesn't freak me out.
It doesn't happen that often. Please feel free to comment below.
Yeah. Especially if you're not a rando.
Yeah. Keep it nice. So for me, obviously I'm the main person that was like, we should start a podcast. It was like a couple of times actually I approached you. I say many crazy things.
Yep.
I wanted to be a clown for a while. Told him about that. I have a lot of different ideas going on and a lot of different like wants and goals in this life. And I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I just was listening to podcasts and the variety that is out there, the different types of podcasts, the different subject matters, the different types of people. And I just thought like, that just seems like a lot of fun. That seems like a lot of fun.
And it is. And it's become, I guess you can't really call it self-care because I'm doing it with you guys.
I think
but it's
you
like
could.
It's for my mental health. It's like a therapy
Therapy.
session.
Yo, it is. It is. And that kind of was, I think, the big push for actually starting is, it was like kind of like maybe we could, I thought maybe we could do something big. Maybe we could, I didn't expect to have like a huge following or anything, but like maybe we could reach some people with this,
Even one.
Yeah, maybe we could
Hi,
reach
Mom.
some people with this. But then it developed very quickly into, if it's just us getting together once a week and it's a way for us to get together and to talk about things that aren't, there's a lot of similar stuff that we talk about in our everyday lives, but maybe a little deeper.
It's a guarantee that we get to see each other that week, and we on or off camera can vent to each other just about our daily goings on and whatnot.
So definitely I'll say 50 episodes deep, that it has done that for me. It definitely has made me feel closer to you guys. It's definitely made me more knowledgeable about, your thoughts and ideas and opinions on things, and kind of like push those, what I just assumed, those assumed thoughts of what you guys were feeling and your opinions on things, and kind of showed me like a different side of you both,
I think overall, I've become a lot more opinionated.
Yeah.
No, like as we come up with topics, it's like, oh, I don't really have an opinion about that. And then you research and you
or you haven't thought about it.
Yeah,
really.
It's not that I don't care about something. It's that I've never really taken the time to sit down, make some notes, really feel like, how do I feel about this?
Right.
And what do I want to do about this? So it's kind of like, it's opened my eyes to a lot of different stuff.
Yeah, and I'll say the same. Like, it's definitely been eye-opening, and it's part of our growth, to learn and to maybe put some thought into things that we, weren't really thinking about, were priorities, or maybe you just pushed aside because they're hard to talk about or think about.
It is hard sometimes, especially whenever we get into the heavier topics.
Right.
It's hard, but it's good because I don't know. Like whenever I'm going through something, it's almost, I feel stronger now than I ever did before because I have to back up my word.
Yeah.
Because I'm sitting here telling people like, no, you have to be positive. You have to do this.
Yeah.
And, like, I
Helps you
can't be a
more
pessimistic
accountable.
biatch if I'm,
A little bit you can. We all have our moments. But no, it pushes you and it gives you some accountability, which I think is really backs up something else, is that it really has helped me to be a little bit more goal-oriented in certain ways, especially when it comes to taking care of ourselves. And I know we talk about self-love a lot on here, and it's very easy to talk and preach self-love, but the fact of the matter is that it doesn't mean that anyone is getting it in enough.
No.
And that's why I feel like we talk about it so much, because
it has
we
to be on a
need that
constant.
reminder. We need that reminder, and we need that that push a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, I will say that when we started this podcast, I did have like romanticized ideas of maybe like making some kind of monetary, even if it's little, you know, like make us some coffee money for starters. The reality of it is though, is that unless you are doing a lot of networking or doing a lot of self-promotion, which we aren't very good at, dude. We're just a bunch of housewives, not just housewives, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we're a bunch of moms, we're a bunch of working women. We have a million things that need priority, unfortunately, over our podcast that obviously they should be, like our families and our jobs, and our self-care.
Yeah.
So I kind of like thought maybe at this point that we would maybe start making a little money some way, sort of, to kind of compensate for the money that we put in. And that's another truth too, is that you don't have to spend a lot of money to be a podcaster, but you do. You have to spend something. You have to spend something, and it costs more. It doesn't cost nothing. Like, I think when we first got into this, I must have looked at a gazillion Pinterest on podcasting and like, you know, how to do it on a budget, how to do it on $0, and you're just not going to get that far on $0.
However, it doesn't have to be super expensive either.
And we try to keep it, you know, as inexpensive as possible, but it's not something that has
Still hanging on to my old trusty computer.
I know. God, say a little prayer, I never know how, Shannon. I'm sorry. Okay.
you had it right.
I was
right,
and I got nervous. Say a little prayer. Yeah, this computer it's sticking through. We've had so many issues, technical issues. I'll say that. Like, we are not techie. God bless you, Shannon, because whenever you're like, I'm not sure, then I start to really panic because I have no idea. I have no idea. Remember when we got the camera? Originally, we were going to podcast on a camera. Now we use Shannon's iPhone, which is awesome. She's the only one who has one. Heather and I both have Android. But we bought a camera, and it worked all right, but they didn't send us a battery for it. So then we had to like return it to Amazon. We drove all over town trying to find a battery for this camcorder. It was such a pain. It was so horrible, and then we were like, let's just try it on your phone. We'll just try it. Why not? Because at that point, we were getting behind. And it has been, I think, better than trying to, I mean, I don't know. It's your phone. You do the tech stuff.
No, it doesn't bother me to use it. It's,
Is it quicker than, like, having to, like, I'm assuming from your phone to upload, say, the YouTube, that it's quicker from straight to your phone to YouTube with iPhone versus loading it from the memory to the computer to the YouTube.
Well, because I can edit on my iPhone too.
Oh yeah, right.
So
that's pretty awesome.
I think it's been a positive change to use my phone, which is crazy that we even thought that we needed anything else to begin with.
Microphones, we still have not figured out.
Nope.
We bought microphones. We've had so many issues with the computer, like registering them. Right now, that'll be something that in the future would be something I would be interested in working on, is better quality of sound. Yeah. That's still tricky.
I think it's just been like the first year of us, or even a little longer than a year, whatever it's been.
Yeah.
Kind of getting our feet wet, figuring it out. A lot of trial and error.
Yes.
And surprisingly, we haven't stopped talking. So we at least haven't run into anything that which I think is important. I think that's the basis of it, is that we can be so different.
Yeah.
And still love each other. So, but yeah, it's not fake. We actually still like each other.
Most of the time.
I mean, yeah, I would say pretty much all the time. Now, this is something, so when we first started podcasting, we tried to commit to an every 2-week schedule. Well, then we decided we really wanted to up it because we enjoyed it, and we just thought, you know, we would maybe reach a little bit more people. It would be more habitual to do it once a week. Yeah. But the reality of that is that a week goes by really fast. So I know you guys probably see out there that we try to post on Sundays. Every other week or so, we are posting on like a Wednesday, or maybe we're a week behind. I would love to say, like, I would just love to be better at this. There are people that literally, it's their job. Like, they are able to turn their podcasting into their job. And originally, I would have thought that would be amazing. But now that I know, like, how much goes into it, I just don't think I would want to do that.
Right?
I don't think I would really want to do that because it's so much. And like, those type of folks, like they're posting habitually, like the same time every weekday. They're posting, you know, every day on their social medias.
I wonder, like, do they have kids?
They're paying for promotion on their social medias. A lot of the podcasts that I listen to, they don't have kids. So
it's got to be a game changer. Yeah. It's got to be. I don't know. I don't remember life without
Kudos to you full-time podcasters because it's a hard work. It is hard work. And then any kind of editing, as you guys know, like we don't do a lot of editing because first off, we just don't really know how to do more than the basic stuff. But secondly, again, it's a lot of work. It's very time consuming. Even posting takes time. It takes time. You have to save the podcast. It takes a little bit of time to post the podcast up, you know, the sound part of the podcast, but then to post the YouTube, that sometimes can take an hour to post 45, 50 minutes of a video. And imagine like if we were like, we're just sitting here. Like, imagine if it was like trying to post video quality of us like running track or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like movements and stuff more. It's just crazy. It's amazing. It's amazing.
I think I disagree with that. As far as like the editing goes, I wouldn't want to do more editing, and it has nothing to do with the amount of work.
Less real.
I like the raw, uncut.
I get
this
that.
This is what you get. Take it or leave it.
Let's see. So, let's see. I'm just checking my notes real quick. I think that's pretty much all on the podcasting side of things. Just that it's a lot to balance, you know, home life, work life, extracurriculars, and podcasting on a weekly basis. You know what else? One more thing. Topics.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Who knew? It would be so hard to pick topics. I will say
we do have 3 personalities too.
Yes, and I will say that just for clarity's sake, that there are some things that some of us are more okay with talking about than others, but because of respect for each other, we try to be very, very careful about that. As you guys know, we've mentioned before, we try not to get into politics, and that's one of the reasons, because everyone is going to have a different opinion on those things, and some topics are the kind of thing that you just know you're not going to see eye to eye on. And while I would love to like work a little bit more on that, I feel like it kind of like messes with the integrity of the podcast and trying to find a common ground.
Yeah.
But
sometimes some things you're just not going to have that common ground on.
Yeah. Right.
But I think even more than in us not having that common ground, that there are plenty of topics that you can talk about that it does not matter what you say.
Of course.
It's going to be wrong somewhere. Like, very wrong.
See, and this is
and
where we differ, because I don't care. I don't care about that. Like, for me, of course I care. I care about our listeners. I care about people. I don't want to offend, but at the same time, there are certain things that I personally feel should be said or should, you know, have a stance taken on. And I can feel very passionate about these things. And there are things that I feel like there should be more awareness about that is harder to talk about because it can be a hot ticket item or a hot button subject matter. And not, like you said, not everyone is going to be okay with it. Like, we hardly get comments on here. We posted a topic, our feminism episode, and in 2 seconds we got trolled by someone giving us a hard time about being women.
White women are the cancer.
We're the cancer. So, and I mean, there's a lot to be said against, you know, Karens. You know what I'm saying? And we try not to be those. But like, we're all learning. It's a learning curve. Like, we're all trying our best, and as long as you're trying your best, I guess that's really the point that we try to get across in this podcast is you have to be. You don't have to have the same opinion, but you have to be like open and listening. And as much as I love to talk, I try to be a good listener, and sometimes that's harder than others.
Yeah.
So, anything else? Anything else about podcasting specifically? Because then we can move on to things that we've learned about ourselves and each other.
I think I'm okay.
You good? All right.
Yeah, I think as far as podcasting goes,
yeah,
I think I just don't know very much anyway.
Same. It's still a day-to-day, or week-to-week, mostly, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have 2 compliments for the both of you about
She's
growth.
gonna really show us up.
No, just a smidge. So my first compliment,
just a bit.
Just a little bit. No, they're just little compliments. So my first compliment is going to go to Heather, because when we started this podcast, literally it felt like we were just dragging her into something, like as the little sister. Come on, do it with us. You can do it. And she was like, oh God, what have you gotten me into? And she was quiet and timid. And I feel like although you still can be a very few words, if there's something you're passionate about, you talk about it now. And I love seeing that. I love it.
It is nice to see you come out of your shell.
Yeah, I want to hear your voice. I want to feel what you're feeling.
Just try and
let it
this
out.
week's harder because just my mental this past week has not been great.
I understand, and that's okay.
I'm trying to get there this week. I'm trying to be all in. It's just I'm struggling.
You can be in and not be happy. That's fine. No one, don't let anyone put an expectation of you being any certain way. You don't owe the world your happiness. You don't owe the world your anything. You owe that to yourself. All right? All right. Sorry. End rant. I feel like everyone has had a hard day today. So not just you, like across the board. A girlfriend had made a post earlier today and like was just having a day, and I feel it because again, back to like what we talked about with jealousy and envy last week, I wanted to piggyback and be like, me too. But then I was like, no, she just needs to hear that she's amazing and that she's got this and that she just needs to get through today because tomorrow is a redo day. So that's basically how it went.
Tomorrow's always a new day.
Shannon, thank you so much for being our tech person.
Oh,
I have no idea what we're doing. I can barely work my phone. I am just amazed. Basically, I did some research. I was like, how about this program Audacity? And you found it, made it work. You helped with the video. You edit the sound. There would be no podcast if we didn't have you.
Aww.
It would be the saddest podcast. It's already hanging on by a thread. But no, it would be the saddest podcast.
There's 3 threads.
There's 3. Okay, it's hanging on by 3 threads. That's it.
That's funny.
Shannon is in the center, which is true.
Yeah.
I'm the braided one.
You're the braided one. Oh, God. So I super appreciate you for that. And then also I would like to say that kind of getting back to talking about topics that can be hard to talk about, because you're more reserved, I feel like you've had a harder time being okay with talking about some things, but as the podcast has grown and gone on, I can see you coming out of that as well, not like opening yourself up to obviously you've always been open to hearing other thoughts and ideas, but like opening yourself up to be putting yourself out there and expressing yourself and how you're feeling about things without worrying about what other people are going to say, because there are haters out there, and
you're opening yourself up to criticism no matter what you do, no matter how you say it, no matter how nicely
But it's brave. It's brave to push through that kind of stuff. And I would like to see already, I feel like we've pushed through and we're starting to get to some like hardier topics that maybe were a little tricky to talk about. But I'd like to see us continue in that manner and, get into stuff a little bit more.
I will say
those are some of my best
we're definitely
episodes.
We're getting more comfortable, and because there's plenty of topics that we had in the beginning, and of course I can't think of one example right now. But it was like, no, later. We'll get to that one later.
Yeah.
Maybe later.
But it's getting a little bit easier, and it's not easy. That's not even the right way to say it. Like, it might come with more ease, but it's still the same thing that we're facing. You're facing the possibility of judgment. You're facing the possibility of criticism. And that's hard. And I commend you. I commend you for it, because that's amazing. I think that's great. And I'm excited. What other kind of juicy things are we going to get into?
We shall see.
How about you guys?
I have a Halloween episode idea in mind.
Oh, I love me some Halloween.
Hey, we're probably not dressing up this year. Well, as adults, we are probably not dressing up this year.
What are you talking about?
I'm probably not dressing up this year.
I've already got like 2 costumes planned. And that's minimal.
I don't know if anyone's going to be able to have parties.
Oh, that's okay.
Oh, you're just going to hang out by yourself?
Well, I mean, I do.
She wouldn't care. She would still dress up.
She totally would.
I co-host an annual Halloween-themed yoga challenge, and that's all digital.
Yeah.
So I'll probably still do that. I didn't really think about trick-or-treats, though.
Trick-or-treats are happening. You can social distance and trick-or-treat.
I'm so sad about that. What about the babies? That
this
bothers
is so
me more than
random.
people missing prom. They can't go trick-or-treat.
There's no way they're going to cancel that. You can social distance still.
Just everyone will be, like...
Mostly.
I forgot what I was going to... Oh, I
Playing
saw on
doctors.
Facebook, and it was amazing. It was this idea that... all the kids should stay home, like in their driveway.
And then adults drive around and throw candy at them.
Throw
That's
candy
cute.
at them.
That's
like,
cute.
It's safer.
It
But
is.
where are all the kids? Who's gonna watch all the kids with all the adults driving
Well,
around?
how do we figure it out now? Whenever somebody stays at the house to hand out candy.
I don't hate it.
No one stays here.
Oh.
We don't get any kids
Oh,
around
yeah,
here.
we don't
either,
get any
though.
kids either. So maybe, like, people like us
We
would
have
go.
the only kids around here.
I just thought it was a cute idea.
It is a
I
cute
don't
It's
know
very cute.
how feasible it is, but I thought it was adorable. And me and my little mama heart, scared of everything in the world, was like, yes, keep my babies home.
It's less of the fun for the kids, though. Half
know.
the fun is going
Dressing
out
up
and doing
and
it.
walking in the night.
Showing off your costume.
That's true, yeah. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
You're like going over your loots with your buddies at the end of the night.
Sitting in the back of the truck.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why the kids love that.
Because they think they're doing something that's like they aren't allowed to. You know?
Yeah.
Going 5 miles on the back of a truck down the neighborhood. They're like, whoa, look at us. We're in the back. So funny. Let's see. Oh, okay. So something that I feel has changed with us with the podcast is, I guess, like going into this, I've always been a very open person, but it's different to like be an open and honest person to the people around you, and versus being an open and honest person
To everyone.
to anyone who wants to listen. Yeah. It's been really interesting because it hasn't necessarily been like a negative for me.
Yeah.
It does make me think like, oh, they're probably not gonna like that, but mostly just with my kids. But they also know, like, they know who I am. They're fine. They call me embarrassing mom, so might as well just live my best
They think
life.
I'm the cool aunt for some reason.
Oh.
I'm still trying to figure out why.
Oh.
Not quite sure.
But in some ways, I feel like it's brought us closer to some family. So, like, when we did the Generations episode, that was really great because right before we did that episode, we got to get together
It was
with
Thanksgiving.
family and talk to some of, like, the elders in our family. Yeah, it was Thanksgiving, yeah. And it was really great just hearing their stories and, like, seeing their faces light up when they talk about, you know, things that they were doing when they were younger or, you know, with the family. And I loved that. And then there's been some things that have come up that, you know, of course, Mommy, shout out to Mommy, it's our #1 fan, that have come up that have been both positive and surprising, and in some ways maybe a little bit hurtful, but like unintentionally so. You know what I'm saying? Like things that maybe we've discussed that, you know, she didn't realize we felt such a way about something, and then it's kind of awesome though. Like it didn't to me.
It opens
even
up the conversation.
Yes, yes. And even though it can be a little hard to deal with, because sometimes things are hard, what I feel like is that after the fact, you know, it opens up that conversation, and then we are able to, you know, move
Grow
past
from
it
it.
or grow from it, yeah, or you know, shift. It's good. So I think that's pretty awesome. Like, so far I haven't had anything too crazy. We've had that one negative comment. No one else has said anything. Everyone has been, like, really supportive.
Yeah.
All right, anything else? Growth.
Just overall, it's just been a lot of fun. And
Yeah. I said, like I said earlier, I like the fact that I know I'm going to get to see y'all this week. I know I'm going to get to vent on everything going on, and it's not through text. It's actually, you can...
Yeah, it's more
it's
personal.
different.
Yes.
Yeah. Because even, you know, before we started podcasting, we all live within like 3 blocks of each other. But we would still go weeks without seeing each other.
Yes.
Because you get caught up in life, and you've got school and homework and bedtime and
kids' schedules and, you know,
sports and this, that, and the other. And then before you know it, it's been a month since you've seen your family.
And you live right around the corner from them.
Yeah. It's been nice to be very conscious and make a point to do it. Like, it almost sounds like a chore, but it's not. Like, I don't mean to make it sound like I have to.
I mean, sometimes it's a chore. Come on.
Right. Well, yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Is like, it's not a bad thing, but sometimes it can be that way, but it's nice that you have that.
What it is,
I never regret it. Sometimes it's hard to get my ass over here.
It's hard to motivate. Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Like, sometimes it's hard to, like, get that push, but then every time we always feel good about it in the end. You know what I'm saying? We feel better about it. Even when we just get together and we're, like, setting up to get things ready to go and we're chit-chatting. Like, it can be such a pain reliever. And it can help. It can help with our mental health. So I love our podcast. I know that, you know, there are ways that we can grow and change for the better. And for me, in the end, even if we aren't, you know, we don't have a gazillion followers, or we, you know, aren't necessarily very popular, like, the fact that we get together has been the best reward for me still. And we kind of thought it would be like that, but, like, what we've received from it has been even
worth so much more.
Even better than we could have expected. So I think we'll continue going on. We're going to shoot for that 100th episode.
Yeah.
Then we'll really celebrate.
We'll get more than dollar store poppers.
Yes.
Or whatever they're called.
Noise makers, blowers,
something like that.
I don't know.
I don't know what they're called either.
That's funny.
All right. So last week we talked a little bit about, we talked about jealousy and envy, but then we talked about, Shannon had presented us a technique where you basically keep a list of things that you like about yourself, and it can be anything. It can be general things. It can be, you know, personal things. It can be absolutely whatever, but if you think of something, you put it down on a list and you keep it going. So that was our homework. We tried to think of at least 3 things, right? That were positive, you know, love things or affirmations to ourselves, because today was a kind of crappy day, and I think we're all feeling that, and I think it just worked out wonderful that now we can go over these things that are positive about ourselves.
Well, the idea behind it is that it's so easy to harp on the negative.
Oh yeah.
And whenever you get into that mindset, it's hard to remember any of the good. So having it written down, or a note in your phone, which I don't have, because we record with my phone. That's okay, though.
We should have thought about that.
That's okay.
I wrote mine on paper.
It's on my phone.
You see, you have your phone, though.
Yeah.
But yeah. So the idea is, it's your positive go-to, and it's just like a reminder to yourself. I got it from a therapist, honestly.
I love it.
So she didn't work out otherwise, but she was great for that.
Well, that one positive thing. Yeah.
So, who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I have 5 things.
Of course you do.
And it's really weird when you, first off, I did not make this list over a week, I'll be honest. I literally sat today and made this list, and while I felt kind of like crappy, because like I didn't technically do the homework right, because I had a crappy day, it was kind of good to
you needed
sit
it more
in a minute and really just like think about some things. So my first thing is, I love that I am tall, and I love this thing about me because it's something that growing up I didn't love. I was always taller, I developed earlier, and, you know, like when I was an older teen, I thought it was really cool. But when I'm in my younger years, especially like middle school was hard. I was giant.
Kids are mean.
Kids are mean. And now I love that I'm tall because first off, I can see things at concerts, which is awesome. I can help people when they need stuff at the grocery store.
Top shelf.
I
got you.
My grandma all the time when she comes and visits from Canada. She's tiny. She like shops in the like the teenage section of like juniors. Walmart or Target juniors, because she's so tiny and petite that she'll say, "Hey, you tall one, come get this for me."
One. That's sweet.
So I love that I can help her, and I can't tell you how many countless times that I've had people at the grocery store ask me if I could grab something for them, and I'm glad to help. I love people, and it's just something that is silly. It's silly, but it's one little something. So that was the first thing I came up with. Second, I wrote how dependable I am. I think, and hopefully that's true. I think of myself as a dependable person, and the two pillars of, say, character that I hold myself most accountable for or strive the most for are loyalty and trustworthiness. And I'm not saying loyalty to a fault. Like, I'm not gonna just walk off the side of a cliff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I've gotten better with that over the years. I'll say it used to be more like that in my younger days. And
it's okay. We're gonna pause.
Sorry.
No.
Do I do it here?
Hey.
Yeah. And we're back. Sorry about that. Her husband's deployed. You gotta take the call when you get the call.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Sorry.
All right. So moving on from that, that I am patient with little kids. I'm all right with big kids. If anything, I'm too much of a pushover with the big kids. I have a hard time.
Way patient with all of them.
I have a very hard time with them older, but with the little ones, I'm pretty patient with them. I usually can kind of like assess the situation pretty well, or do good, like distract them to like change their mood, or change their course. And I'm proud about that. I love my work. I find it really rewarding. I love the kids, and people tell me that all the time, and I never I always just was like, oh yeah, okay, but no, it's true, and like it's something to be proud of. So I wrote it down on my list.
I think it is.
And then let's see what else. Perseverance. So, and this kind of ties into my next one, which is being goal oriented, even if it's little, and using that goal to, further or better myself in some way. So
you stole mine.
Well, that's a good one. That's a family trait. It's important. So, like, for instance, as an example, this morning just already started off like rough. I woke up a little late. I wasn't motivated. It's leg day, so I was like, oh, you have to work out, but I didn't want to. I still did. I pushed through. It took me longer. I barely got to yoga on time afterwards, but I pushed through that, even though, whatever. It's my moon time. So I tend to be more tired and more, like, a little more lethargic, a little bit more lazy, and I get queasy belly now, which I never got when I was younger. So it's hard. It's hard when you wake up and you're feeling crampy and you're feeling queasy to be like, all right, let's go
work out.
Let's go lift some weights, No. And so I'm proud of myself, and like, yeah, okay, maybe I haven't reached some of my bigger goals, but that's why I set little goals for myself. And today that goal was that I got out of bed and I got my shit done. Yeah. So go me. How about you? Anyone who wants to go next? Your list of things you like about you.
You stole my perseverance.
We gotta listen. If we know anything in this family, if our mama taught us anything, it's how to persevere. Yeah. How to turn shit into gold. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know about gold, but you make it work.
Well, you're right. Maybe not.
You have to try for gold, and then when you get silver, it's okay.
Yes, that's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Or bronze, whatever you do.
Something better than shit.
As long as you're going.
As long as you're headed in a forward direction.
Yes.
That's all that matters.
All right, so that's one.
And honestly, this was just this, to picking three things because I've been so low the past week has been extremely hard for me.
It's a hard setup. It's a hard thing to get started.
Yeah. So my other one was just, I gotta bring up my notes, I'm sorry.
Yeah, bring them up.
You gotta scoot your butt a little too.
Yeah, this way. This way, towards us.
This way. There you go.
Okay, sorry.
What's your other thing?
The fact that I always try and see the best in people, although it can also be a bad thing.
I'm the same, and
because it's gotten me into shitty situations.
Yes.
So, as much as I see it as a good quality, it's also not so great.
It's still
but
a good
it's something
quality.
I like about myself.
But it's
is
something
I
that
don't
you
instantly think the worst in people. Think of, oh, that dude's sketchy. I think, well, he's probably had a hard life.
Yeah.
And I don't try and instantly assume, oh, he's gonna get me behind that truck and hurt me.
Right.
Yeah.
Although I listen to plenty of crime shows to think that.
I know.
That's not my first. My first thought is, he's a rough day.
Yeah.
And then my third one was just, I'm trying so hard to be a good mom, a good wife, everything to everyone constantly, even though I don't feel like I reach it. I know I'm trying to reach that.
And that makes you that.
You love that you keep on trucking.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that too.
That's all I have. I told
That's
you it was
great.
a hard week.
That's great. And of course, because I just keep talking like I always do, I just want to point out that for all three of us, and Jane, I know you still have to go, but like, this is hard. When you sit down to try to think of things that you like love about yourself, it's weird. And I was thinking about this. Part of it is that as women, we're made to feel, or just as people, honestly, I won't even generalize and say, I'll make it more broad. We're made to feel like seeing qualities or things that you like in yourself is some kind of like vanity or like personal worship or something. And that's just a bunch of bull crap.
It's made to feel like dirty and bad.
Yeah, you should revel in your positive traits and
your
qualities.
biggest fan.
You really should. So I just wanted to say that because yeah, it can feel silly when you sit down to like write these silly things. It could even be like, I've got pretty white teeth. You know, it can be like anything. And if that's something that makes you feel good about yourself, then that's all that matters. It really is. Heather, you got some pretty white teeth, just saying.
I better. Saying.
All right, Shannon.
Mine that I share pretty much everything. But my number one is always I got out of bed today.
Yes.
It's always my hardest thing. I don't think if you don't deal with depression, you realize how big of a statement that is.
It's a huge statement.
But there are some days that it's hard. However, I will say, I've been waiting to say this, but it's never come up. Mom told me, or she said, like, it was a meme sent to her, or something like that. But basically it was like, oh, I think I did talk about this. Imagine that your depression is some fuckboy telling you that you have to stay inside. Like,
oh, hell no.
You're not about to do that.
No.
I love that.
And it works. Because nobody's about to tell me what to do.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah. And then in no particular order, I don't know. I'm a good mom. I didn't think I would be.
Yeah, you are very good mom.
But I try every day. I'm not perfect. I mess up all the time.
No one is perfect.
No.
But my kids know that they're loved. My kids are learning lessons every day. Important ones.
Life
Just the
lessons.
other day, Aubriana pointed out to me that she's listening whenever I tell her goals are important, but they're not an end-all be-all. Because I'm always telling her, try your best, try your best, try your best. And she knows for me, that's always. I don't accept anything less for myself. That's just what it is. And I was talking about these, I'm going through training at work, and having a quiz or whatever. She's like, well, don't be a baby if you get a B. And I'm like, she gets it. Like, yes, you try, but if you don't, it's not the end of the world. And then the third is I am incredibly proud of my career. For years, I kind of feel like I floundered around and didn't really know where I belonged and what was what. And I'm just in a place that I'm really happy and I feel fulfilled. So those are my three things for right now.
That's great.
I love those.
All right, so if you want to add in what you like about yourself today, feel free to drop it in the comments, even if it's been a week, if it's been 3 months since this was posted and you just think, you know what? I need this today.
Mm-hmm.
Put it in the comments below. One of us will get back to you. We think that's awesome. Because you are awesome.
And speaking of awesome, what are triumphs for the week? You want to go first?
I don't really have one.
You made it through the week.
Yes.
It's well, yeah, I don't have a big one except that. I made it through this week, and
we had a good weekend.
We did have a good weekend, and it was nice. We got out, and I had the boys.
They were good.
They were very well behaved.
Oh.
I don't think they really had any tantrums this weekend at all.
Couple of funny anecdotes.
Oh, goodness.
Those boys this weekend. So, of course, we went to Wakiva or Wakiva. I don't know how to say it. I'm still not sure. I was saying Wakiva, and then someone was like talking to me and saying Wakiva, and then I thought, oh, I've been saying it wrong.
No.
You know? Anyways, we went to this like fun spring/RV camp thing.
I needed that so bad.
We had a great time, but they only had RV camping and tent camping, and it's hot in Florida, y'all. So my smart sister over here was like, "How about we just get a hotel room for the night?" And so we did that.
We called it glamping.
It was fantastic.
Yes,
showers, the whole nine.
Although my shower did not get nearly hot enough.
Aww.
No?
Did y'all's?
I thought it was nice.
I didn't shower.
No.
I liked the spring.
Not nearly hot enough. Even Matthew was like,
really?
That shower is not hot. I was like, turn it on hot. He was like, I did. I went and I was like, oh, well, this shower does not get hot.
Oh, gosh.
The hotel was pretty fancy, and
very fancy.
And the boys were like in awe. They were freaking out. And so, Matt, I think it was Matt. You know what I'm gonna. I think it was Matt or Jack. One of them said like, "Oh, this is so cool. It has a shower and a toilet, but no refrigerator." And Heather's like, "It does have a fridge, but like everything was like really modern. There was like all these cabinets with like these like flat little handles and stuff." And so they were like, "Huh, nuh-uh." And we're like, "Yeah." And before Heather could tell them, I was like, "Wait, make them look for it." So we had them, I swear to God,
all
like
over the room.
10 minutes. They're like all over the room. They're looking in cabinets.
Well, they probably can't even understand the idea of a mini fridge anyway.
The entire time I'm like, you've walked by it, you've opened drawers right beside it.
This area. And so they finally found it, and they were like, whoa, it's little. And they were just so freaking cute.
Now, they have stayed at hotels before.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
It was so like adorable to me. I loved it.
I know it's fun seeing it that way because I'm a hotel snob, and so by default my kids are hotel snobs. So they don't realize how good they actually have it.
I know. I looked at it, I was like, damn.
It was nice. It was nice. So another thing is Jack lost his tooth, but he lost it when we were at the spring.
He lost it.
And when we got back to the hotel, you know, it's late and stuff, and he's like upset because he lost his lost tooth.
I put it in a baggie, and I put it in our baggie, and somewhere along the way, it's gone.
So I tried to tell him, like, oh, we can write the tooth fairy a letter. The girls have had to do that before when they lost their lost tooths, and you leave the tooth fairy a letter, and he was like, she won't know we're here, and just like Santa Claus or something, like, and Heather was on her phone, and I was like, Heather, why don't you send the tooth fairy a text and let her know where we are, and let her know.
I did.
Yeah. She might not get back to you. And he was like, no, and I was like, yeah, Mom can text the tooth fairy. And he believed that crap. And he woke up with his $1, and he was so happy.
The $1, by the way, I didn't have.
Yeah, I did.
I was like, I don't carry cash. I was like, do either of you two have dollars? And they're in the other rooms, and thankfully Tiffany came through with the $1.
It was great. We had we haven't had them a lot because they've been with their dad through the summer, and it was great. We had a great time with them. Just to move into my trial. That was what I was going to say is we had just a really nice fun time over the weekend. We didn't like rush to get out of the hotel, which is nice. The kids swam, and we got lunch before we headed back to town. It was like, I don't know, like an hour and a half drive or something.
About an hour and a half.
So
it wasn't a long drive, but it was enough that you don't want to there and back in the same day.
Oh yeah, not like late after you've been in the spring all day or anything.
Mine is work related. I feel like it's always work or school.
Hey, that's okay.
Such is life. But I'm going through a training right now, and I was really, really intimidated about it because they're honestly, like, I'm like low man on the totem pole for this training. Like, there's a lot of higher ups and a lot of much higher than my pay grade kind of people in these trainings, which I'm blessed to learn from. I think it's amazing, but it's very intimidating.
Yeah.
But anyway, we had a like a pop quiz today, and it was almost like on a very public platform. And
so like everyone can see it?
Was it on Kahoot?
It was.
Okay,
Oh,
that looks familiar.
Of the 45 people, I got 3rd place.
That's
Heck
awesome.
Yes, I
Yes.
didn't realize it was that many people.
I was so excited.
That's amazing.
I mean, we won't tell them that I'm in school for project management, and that's what it was about. But
Well,
it counts. You still.
you'll be,
But I still
you'll
know
be
it.
first place after you graduate.
yeah, so I was so excited. 'Cause
That's amazing. I didn't realize it was that many people.
Mhm.
That is intimidating.
It's, and they put you on the spot, and they ask you questions, and it's nerve-wracking. But
Sounds
yeah,
like it.
it was fun though.
I've never been great with tests. They make me anxious.
Yeah, I don't
Too much
test
pressure.
well. I don't usually test well.
Well, great job.
Yay, thanks.
All right, guys. We would love to hear from you. You know where to find us. And we'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.